All right, getting set up here. Okay, so I'll be right back. If you got a chair, it'd be good to get a chair this week, and of course, your water is always good.
I think the certificate really prepared me for this ever-changing comeback moment because it gave me
Okay, so welcome back to Gong Week 8. We're going to do a meditation today. Let me actually work this out for spacer reasons. We're doing a meditation at the end today, a regulation exercise. Well, let's go ahead and start with our normal process. Nice big hug. Big neat circles. Grab something off the floor. Tuck the pelvis under, raise up. Let everything settle back down. Alright, so look at my nose, excuse me. So now I'm gonna do the pulling down the heavens. Inhaling, exhaling, 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 inhaling, exhaling. Okay. Let's do our channel dredging. Good. do our dry crying. Okay. Trembling horse, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. One more. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Okay. Post dropping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more for good measure. Vibrating like a tuning fork. Good. Okay. Yeah, we want to see the spine vibrate up and down like a tuning fork. When our feet hit the ground, we'll see that spine vibrating, ripple up, and then ripple down. It's very important because you need to move the cerebral spinal fluid and the chi of the spine. You have you have the sea of marrow that goes through there, and it's important that you boom give a nice little vibration, yeah, so that there's no stagnation. Everything can move and flow and be fluid through there. Okay, very important, very good for clearing the mind. It's been especially hot here. I don't know about where you all are, but here it's been especially hot and humid, so everything is. So the heat makes it rise, the humidity makes it. It creates a dampness, and dampness makes a stickiness. Yeah, so it can be very easy that someone can get sick in their lungs or other things here, right? Especially if you've been outside a lot. Um, you know, if you work out outside or whatever and your body's not used to that or it's tired and then you're subjected to that, it's very easy for that to create a problem. All the heat creates the rising of the energy and then the humidity makes it stick together, and that's how you can get a phlegm and mucus and all these things, okay? So it's important that you regulate that spine and create that fluidity and get everything moving through there, as we were just talking. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our chi scattering. Take our time. Up through the earth, 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 Okay, very good. Let's take a sip of water. So, and before we go into our tonification exercises, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the regulation. So we're going to do the 6 breath meditation, and we're going to balance and regulate the organs from the inside. So each organ has a sound and a color. The sound is how we remove the stagnation and the gunk, and the color is how we tonify the organ. And we do both so that we can create a balance and a harmony. And then we will draw everything to the lower dantian and seal everything in a balanced way. Okay. So I'm going to tell you now what the sounds and the colors are. We're going to do the meditation later. Don't worry, I'll remind you. So the liver, and I'm going to go over some points in case people don't know. The liver is located on the right side, okay, below the rib cage, okay. You need to have a rough idea where these things are, okay. The heart. When we do the heart, we actually work our heart center, which will run into the heart, which actually runs here. But we just work over the heart center when we do this. The spleen is on the left side under the rib cage towards the outside. And then you have the lungs here, okay? And then you have the kidneys in the back, okay? So you have the triple burners, which is you have the lower burner, the middle burner here, and then the upper burner, okay? So we're just gonna go over the chest when we do the triple burner and work with the color and the sound. So the sound for the liver is whoa, whoa. Now this sound is sometimes it's almost like a whisper. Okay. Gou, Guo, and the color that's associated with the liver is green. Okay. We're going to expel the turbid chi and then draw in high vibrational energy, a radiant, vibrant color into the organ to tonify it. The heart is Zhang, Z-H-A-N-G. Zhang. Now, you will hear this j, j, j. That powerful j is important, and the zhang, the vibration, is also extremely important to clear the organ. The guo has the, it's like a whisper, and that vibration will clear the liver. And then you have zhang, the is important to clear. Okay, so the sound is important too. That's why I'm explaining to you. So the color of the heart is red. So the sound is zhang, and the color is red. Then we go to the small intestine, the spleen, excuse me, and the color is, the sound is Gong, G-O-N-G, Gong, and the color is radiant yellow. We go to the lungs, the sound is sh, sh, like you tell somebody to shh, be quiet. Hey, too loud. Shh. Okay. Shung. And there's that nasal that goes along with it. Shung. And the color is white, a radiant white color. And then you have the kidneys, and the sound is you. The color is a midnight blue to go into the kidneys. So the liver, you have GOU, and you draw in radiant green. The heart is Jung, and you draw in radiant red. The spleen is Gong, and you draw in radiant yellow. The lungs are Shung, and you draw in radiant white. And the kidneys are You, and you draw in midnight blue. And then you have the triple burner, which is She, and you draw in radiant red. So we'll be sitting down. So you'll say, well, if I'm sitting in a chair, how can I, move this energy out of my kidneys? Well, the beautiful thing is that you can go through the front and go you and expel it out the front, and then you can draw the midnight blue into the kidneys. If you have the space, you can we'll show it that way for you, okay? If you have to stand, if you don't have a chair and you're standing, it's okay. If you have a chair, you just scoot to the edge and you go out the back. And you draw in midnight blue. It's easiest this way, okay? So you want to, your hands will be in front of where the organ is, and you want to feel the organ as it vibrates and sends the turbid chi out. And then you want to feel it as it draws in the radiant color chi. And then we'll go to the third eye, and there's a special treat for you on that. And then we'll seal everything into the lower dantian. But before we get there, we need to do our tonification exercises. Okay. And that meditation is called the 6-breath meditation. And I'll go over this before we do it again, okay? So, one more sip of water here. And like I said, it's been extremely hot here, so I'll be a little heavy on the hydrating today, okay? But let's go ahead and do our deep dive, okay? Reach down, gather and collect, come up, over the head, let it settle, filling with more chi. 2 more. 1 and 2. Keeping the pelvis tucked under. And then everything settling in the lower dantian. Next we have swaying. Feet shoulder width apart. Here we go. Remember, I'm expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting, pumping more chi into the lower dantian. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Always sinking. Good. And back to the lower dantian. Expanding, gathering, compressing, expanding, gathering, compressing, expanding, gathering, compressing, storing into the lower dantian. So our abdomen should be nice and full. Maybe our chest is also full. We've gathered and stored lots of chi here. Okay. Now we need to do our standing meditation. So we stand shoulder width apart, tuck our pelvis under, put our hands in front of our chest. Start breathing into the lower dantian, sinking and settling the chi into the bottom of the feet. Close our eyes. Tuck the chin, suspend the crown, sink the shoulders, make heavy the elbows, hollow the chest, round the back. Relaxing the waist, tucking the pelvis under, letting everything sink to the bottom of the feet. Breathing into the lower dantian. Sinking and settling everything to the bottom of the feet. Begin to melt down the forehead, the eyes, cheeks, the jaw, the throat, the chest, the abdomen, the thighs, knees, the shins, tops of the feet through the center of the feet. Melting down the back of the head, back of the neck, upper back, middle back, lower back, buttocks, back of the thighs, back of the knees, back of the calves, back of the heels, bottom of the feet into the center of the earth, through the center of the head, center of the throat, chest, the arms, down the forearms, into the hands, through the chest, into the abdomen, pelvis, femurs, shin and tibia and fibula, ankles, through the center of the feet, into the earth. Breathing into the lower dantian. Adjusting the structure so that we continue to fill the body with more chi. Putting space in the shoulder joint, feeling the humerus where it connects into the shoulder, feeling the space expand and contract into the elbows, feeling the space expand and contract into the wrists, feeling the joints expand and contract into the bones of the hands, feeling the joints expand and contract through the fingers, through the tips, and into the hip joint, feeling the space in the hip joint expand and contract. Every time you breathe, feel the hip where the femur connects into the ball and socket joint expand and contract. Going into the knee, feel the space expand and contract. Into the ankle, feel the space expand and contract. In between the bones of the feet, expand and contract, expand and contract, expand and contract. Through the center of the feet. Now we're going to go in a wave. Shoulders, elbows, wrist, hands, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, feet, shoulders, elbows, wrist, hands, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, feet, toes. Now from the top of the spine, going down every breath, breathe into the vertebra, moving one vertebra at a time, expand and contract, 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 expand and contract into the sacrum, expand and contract into the hips, knees, ankles, feet. Now we breathe with the spine as one unit. The entirety of the spine expands and contracts, tucking the pelvis under, filling the legs with more chi, expand and contract, 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 lengthening the spine from top to bottom, expand and contract, expand and contract, expand and contract, into the shoulders, elbows, wrist, hands, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, feet, into the lower dantian. Feeling all of the cells expand and contract, 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 expand and contract. Now slowing down the breathing, breathing longer. Try for a 4-second breath. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, 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 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Let's try for 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, 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 and 8 seconds, 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out, 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out, 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out, 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out. Good. Settling everything to the lower dantian. Breathing deep. Settling everything in the bottom of the feet. Every breath filling the legs with more chi. Tucking the pelvis, sinking the pelvis, filling the breath with more chi. Filling the legs with more chi. Filling the legs with more chi, compacting. Filling and 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 compacting. Settling into the lower dantian. Breathing deep. Deep. Expanding the spine. Breathing into the spine. Breathing into all cells. And very slowly let your hands lower. Inhaling. Exhaling. And seal. Inhaling. Exhaling. And seal. Inhaling. Exhaling. And seal. Very good. Let's take another water break. So as I said, today is going to be heavy on the water. handy dandy table. Okay, so far we have cleared. First, we settle our chi by pulling down the handles. And you can recite the ha sound internally or externally. I recommend externally to start, and then you can go internally when you build up a rapport with the exercise. We have all of our clearing exercise, our dry crying, our post stomping, trembling horse, chi scattering, all of these things, right? And then we have tonification exercises like the deep dive and the swaying. Okay, swaying 50 times. Deep dive, 10 is a really good number, but maybe you start at 3 or 6. Like I say, you need to build yourself up to this. So, and being energetically tired or overdone is different than physically. So, something you work up to and understand that it's a process of working up to it. Okay. And now we're going to do a regulation 6 breath meditation. Okay. So, as I said before, we clear the gunk out, we fill with good stuff, and then we balance. Yeah. So, if you can practice every day, great, I highly recommend it. If you don't have enough time, I would say 3 times a week will be a bare minimum, and 2 you can work up to every day. We have choices in this life, in this world, what we spend our energy on, what we spend our time on, what we spend our money on, who we involve ourselves with, what we do in this world, and these sort of things. So, in the beginning, you will say, well, I don't have the time. After enough time, you will make the time because the practice is so valuable to you. It will enhance your life so much. You will say, I don't have the time, but then you will get the benefits of doing it a few times a week. And then you will say, well, it should be a part of my health routine, like I brush my teeth in the morning, like I bathe at night. By the way, bathing is a very important energetic hygiene tool. Okay, the water will clear. So, with that being said, if you're gonna take a shower, take your shower before and then do your qigong. Okay, don't shower after your qigong because it's best to do the qigong and let it sit. After you let it sit, 30 minutes, an hour is best, an hour and a half if you really got time. You can be doing other things in your life. You can write your paper. You can call a friend up and discuss matters of, life. You can, go for a walk. I would advise you don't eat an hour before and you don't eat an hour after. Okay, you want to give your body time to process everything you've done. Same thing with working out, right? If you're one of those people like me who will obsess over these things, it's actually a good quality to really ingrain it into your system and make it a part of your life. But we do have rhythms and things we need to respect in this physical body. This vessel needs a rest and it needs a relaxation. So I will say also after you do qigong, your system's very open. So I don't recommend you go to the middle of a crowded mall. I mean, you can do what you want, but I think it's best you give your body some time to settle down and relax. And maybe this is good for a practice of just settling down. Like I said, you can ride or you can do something with all the energy, but a balance and rhythm is important. Maybe you just sort of sit still and, in a way, sitting in a meditation. I don't know. It's your choice what you want to do. But I recommend some soft way of coming out of qigong. I don't recommend going to a very high stress situation. Yeah, something makes you happy. Snuggling with a friend, partner. Okay, better, excuse my verbiage, snuggling with a partner. Okay. There are people that snuggle with their friends. If that's your cup of tea, well, so be it. But, we keep it a little more PC right now. Go snuggle with your partner, okay? You don't have one, grab a big pillow and give it a big hug, okay? But what I mean, I want you to understand, all jokes aside, do something that's calm and tranquil, and understand that uh, this creates a balance in your life. You have more energy, and also you can be at a peace and be at a rest, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with resting. I know that's not the American way. You must be tired. You must be a loser. You must be a whip. You must not have a work ethic if you get tired and you take a break. This is not correct. In fact, I will say that a rest and a break is actually essential to your well-being. And if you don't respect the rhythms of the world and of your body, it will show you and teach you that balance and rest are important. Okay, so make sure you get some rest and balance in what you do. Take care of your body, or it will make you rest. Okay. Uh, 6 breath meditation. Regulation exercise. We release and refill. We release and refill. We release and refill, and then we will store in the lower dantian. By the way, any qigong experience, you should always end in the lower dantian. So people operate from different spaces. Your lower dantian is your qi, your essence. Well, your kidneys are your qi and your essence, but the lower dantian is your most physical perspective, if you will. So what I mean by that is it keeps you grounded in your body. That's why you need to end with your qi in your lower dantian. If after long enough practice and you become mature enough, you can store in your middle dantian. But I will tell you, it's highly recommended that first you develop the lower dantian and then you can build up into the middle dantian. There's one exception to this rule, and that is women who are on their period. When a woman is on her period, the lower dantian is releasing. You don't want to store there because then you will just throw the energy away. And you will further enhance your time of the month, and maybe not in a pleasant way. Okay? So during a woman's time of the month, she should store in the middle dantian and the heart center. Other than that, I will recommend storing the lower dantian, women and men, until you get there enough and you build up and you can store in the middle dantian. But it takes a very certain level of emotional maturity because your energy becomes sensitive, and not only is it sensitive, but you have an awareness there, any energetic and emotional awareness that a lot of people won't have. So you have to have this compassion to understand that a lot of other people are not in this space. And so if you try to make them like you and operate out of this space, you will cause a problem. As my teacher says, don't be so heavenly bound, you're no earthly good. Yeah, you want to store in the middle dantian, you want to store in the middle dantian because this is some high level experience. Yeah, okay, you can do that, but you will cause a lot of problems in your life if you don't know how to ground and operate from a grounded space, or you don't know how to handle all the things that you're experiencing from storing your chi in the middle dantian. Okay. That's not to say you can't get there and you can't work there, but you need to be solid and grounded in the lower dantian. And from there, you can work to the middle dantian. It's a level of graduation. How will you know when you're ready? Well, you seek out a experienced teacher. That's the best way. If you don't have access to that, Be careful, but eventually your intuition will tell you it's okay to store here. You will know it's okay to be in this space. You can feel all the feelings and have this experience as a human being, a very highly aware, very sensitive human being, and you will know how to move through this because you are grounded and you have very high morals and values, codes of ethic. Yeah, these things are also important. Yeah, doing a qigong is not so you can be better than other people. It's not so you can be some high king. Okay, it's not about a worldly status. It's not about being better than other people. It's not about uh, getting one over on other people. In fact, it should be used in a way to become more compassionate to others. It should be used in a way as your consciousness increases to understand, oh wow, this is how people learn to survive in the world and they don't know any better. They don't have the same sense of feeling, and this is why they do what they do. They don't have the same sense of emotional maturity, so this is why they do what they do. It's not because oh, they got away with something, and well, I will go ahead and do it too. I will match their energy. Look, you can do whatever you want. You ultimately have a choice, but I will never advise to always match people or always say to go one up. Okay, there are times in life that you need to protect yourself. That's a different story. But with the level of grounding and emotional maturity, you will know, you will see the space where the other is in, and you can give them the kind hand to lift them up. Or you can choose to walk away and create the space and the distance so that you don't have this interaction because maybe they're not emotionally mature. Maybe they're open, and then you can give them the experience or the wisdom and you can guide them up. Everyone has to have their own experience, but you can show people. We say the Kung Fu master opens the door, but the student must walk through. Yeah, the Sifu will open the door and show you the way, but you must walk the walk. You must have the experience. And that's why I tell you it's a very thing to be careful about how you store if you're going to store in the middle mountain. It's very careful that you don't just you're out of ego decide I want to go and be here, so I will store here. It's very important to be honest with yourself about why you're doing what you're doing and why you treat people how you treat people. And you need to be honest about how others are treating you. If you have an understanding someone does not treat you well, you need to not allow the bad treatment to yourself. Even you have hopes this will get better, this will grow, etc. There has to be a line of, okay, this is a way. I'm not okay with this. I will not allow you to treat me badly. You know, I can be nice a few times, but there's a line between being nice and someone abusing you. Yes. Um, so you have to have a discernment, okay, and that is for you to understand and decide to walk your life. We all come here to learn lessons and grow through things. Um, and so, with that understanding, you will need to decide what is your path to walk, you know, and you need to, like I say, have your lines, okay? You don't need to allow abuse to happen to you, to have a line. In fact, I recommend having a boundary before the abuse gets there, okay? Do not allow yourself to be in a position of being abused. However, it's unfortunate, but these things in life sometimes do happen. And if they do, you need to learn from them and you need to gather the wisdom. And then the wisdom is there for you to help others along the path so that they don't have the same experience. Or if they go through the same experience, you can help them to understand maybe what they have gathered through the experience if they do not understand these things yet. This is why you're here to help others, to grow and to evolve and to help others. This is my expression of why I'm here. You will figure out on your own why you are here. But there's a certain thing that's in common amongst all people, and that is that we're here to help others. We're here to love others. We're here to grow and evolve. Now, what specific lessons you have? Well, those are yours to figure out. That's your life, your walk, your path. So, 6 breath meditation. Please, if you're sitting down, slide to the edge of your chair. Sit up nice and tall. Align your structure. Let's do our 3 ha's. Ha. 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 Okay. The liver, the sound is whoa. Whoa. When you take the heat out, getting rid of any gunk. Pulling any gunk out, and we draw in radiant green mist. Okay? Ready? Whoa. Whoa. Releasing any gunk, drawing in radiant green mist. Releasing any gunk. Whoa. Drawing radiant green mist. Releasing any gunk. Whoa. Drawing radiant green mist. When you take out, put it into the earth. Release. Drawing radiant green mist. Release. Drawing radiant green mist. Filling and overflowing the organ. Release. Fill with radiant green mist. Now to the heart. Jung. Draw in radiant red mist. 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 One more. Jung. Draw in radiant red mist. Spleen. The sound is gong, and we draw in radiant yellow mist. Gong. 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 Draw in radiant yellow mist. The lungs. Shang. Draw in radiant white mist. Into the lungs. Shang. Draw in radiant white mist. 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 The kidneys. You. Draw in midnight blue. 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 Filling and overflowing the kidneys with this radiant blue mist. Triple burner. She. Releasing any toxic turbid chi. Drawing in radiant red mist. She. drawing in radiant red mist. She, drawing in radiant red mist. She, drawing in radiant red mist. She, drawing in radiant red mist to the triple burners. One more. She, drawing in radiant red mist to the triple burners. Good. Now we take our middle fingers, fire finger, and we're going to inhale, draw in radiant white light into the upper dantian, and exhale, releasing any turbid chi, and draw in radiant white light. See it filling the center of the brain, the mind, radiating, overflowing with this radiant white light, and release any toxic turbid chi. And draw in radiant white light, touching the forehead, and release any turbid toxic chi. And draw in radiant white light, see it radiating, filling, getting brighter, 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 and release. Draw in radiant white light, see it radiating, drawing in, getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and release. Turbid toxic chi. One more. Draw in radiant white light, see it filling the center of the brain, getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, releasing any turbid chi. Drawing in radiant white light, filling, getting brighter and brighter. Now we direct this down to the lower dantian. Filling the lower dantian with this radiant white light. Settling in the lower dantian. We inhale, golden yellow. Exhale, radiant white light through the Tai Chi pole into the lower dantian and seal. And to the left, inhale, golden yellow. Exhale, radiant white light through the Tai Chi pole to the lower dantian and seal. Inhale, golden yellow. Exhale, radiant white light through the Tai Chi pole into the lower dantian and seal. Very good. So now we have balanced and regulated the organs and settled everything into the lower dantian. So we always end with sealing. Okay. So I think that's going to be it for today. Again, make sure you hydrate. Take some time to enjoy this beautiful radiant chi you've just gathered and stored into the organ and to your mind and to your lower dantian. Okay, practice and enjoy. Until next week.